video note taker on reflections. So your objective today is you will be able to create a reflection on a coordinate plane by writing notes, watching the video note taker, discussing in groups, and practicing for mastery. You'll be able to find the new coordinates of a reflection when given original coordinates by writing notes, watching the video note taker, discussing in groups, and practicing for mastery. So your vocabulary is transformations, reflection, ordered pair, and coordinates. Okay, so we have three different types of transformations. So we've already talked about translations and rotations, so now we're on reflections. We know translations are sliding, we know rotations are turning, and we know reflections now will be flipping. Okay, so basically you're going to get the same shape again. It's going to be congruent, but it's just going to be either upside down from the other one or left to right. If you've ever used a draw program, you know there's a command that will allow you to do that, like on Microsoft Word and so forth. Okay, ordered pair again is important. We have to know how to find our ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. So we know X is first, left or right, Y is second, up or down. And we know that two coordinates make up the ordered pair. All right, so let's see how we do a reflection. So we have our notes. So if you follow these notes, follow what I do, you're going to have no problem with this. So first step, determine the axis of reflection. Okay, here it says I'm going to reflect across the y-axis. So that means that this right here is my y-axis. This particular time I'm actually going to go across this, right there. Okay, draw a line on that axis of reflection. So there we go. Now, hint, this is where some kids get it wrong. If I say x equals something, that means I'm crossing the x-axis. So that makes it a vertical line, even though the x-axis itself is horizontal. If I have an axis of reflection where it says y equals, that means I cross the y-axis, even though the y-axis itself is vertical. It's kind of a little different, so practice will make that easier. Okay, determine if the reflection will be left, right, or up and down. Well, as you can see here, I'm going to be crossing this direction. I'm going to go from right to left. Okay, so that tells me where I'm going to have my new reflection. Count the number of spaces between the points and the axis of reflection. So I'm going to take each of these points right here, these 4 points in the quadrilateral, and I'm going to count how far away I am from that axis of reflection. That's why you should make this axis of reflection nice and big so you can see it. Okay? So there, we know from this point to the axis is 2, this point to the axis is 10, this point to the axis is 9, and then this point to the axis is 3. So that's pretty simple. Okay? Now we're going to flip the points across the axis of reflection the same number of spaces. All right. Okay, so remember, this one right here was 2. This one right here was 10. This one right here was 9. Okay, get over there. Okay, and then this one right here was 3. Okay, then you're going to connect those points and record your ordered pairs. Okay, and so it looks like that. Now you notice from here to here is 4, so if I divide it in half, it's 2. That's how long it was from the axis of reflection. So pretty simple. And then we can simply record our points. So we know that this is over -3, up 1. We know that's over -2, up 6. We know that's over -9, up 1. We know that's over -10, and up 3. All right, easy stuff. Let's do some practice. So here I'm going to reflect across the y-axis or x-axis. So remember the first step, find this. All right. Second step, draw that axis of reflection. So the x-axis is actually this right here. Okay. So I'm going to go across that one. I'm going to make this a teeny bit bigger if I can get it. Okay. Just so you can see it. Nope. Giving me a little trouble here. Oh, let me try it again. Okay, let's make that nice and thick. There. Okay. Next step, am I going to go left or right or up and down? So on this one, I'm going to go from the second quadrant down to the third quadrant. So it's going to be down there, so we know where it's going to go. Okay, next, figure out the distance. So from here, the computer's running a little bit slow here today. So from here to here, okay, is 4. From here to here is 1. From here to here is 2. And then from here to here is 5. So now we're going to go the same distance on the other side. So here to here was 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That point's going to go there. This one is 1, so that point's going to go there. This point was 5, so that's going to go here. And this point was 2, so that's going to go there. And then go ahead and connect them. And we have a reflection. Remember, these are still congruent, but they'll look a teeny bit different. Now you can find your sets of ordered pairs on your own. Okay, next one. Okay, first step, find your axis of reflection. So we know that it's right here, y equals -2. So this time, remember our notes, we're going to cross the y-axis at -2. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit thicker so we can see it a little bit better. All right. All right. So if I cross the y-axis at -2, negative is down here, and there's my -2. Okay. Now go ahead and count the spaces from each point to that axis. Okay, not to the x-axis, but to our axis of reflection. So that's 1. Way up here, well, that's 7 to get to here, and then another 2 to get to there. So that's 9 altogether. And then this one is 5 to get to here, and then another 2 to get down there. So that's 7. So now I just take each of those points and go that distance down. So that's going to be 1 away from our axis of reflection. Remember, that's going to be 7, and another 2 is 9. So that's going to be actually down here, 1 off the grid. And then this was 7, so that's going to put it right there. Okay. Then connect them, and you have your reflected image. All right, to there. And then you find the ordered pair for each one of these. Okay, last one. So we're going to reflect across x equals 3. So this time, according to our notes, we're going to cross the x-axis at +3. So here's our x-axis. So we're going to cross at +3, so that's going to bring it right there. There's our axis of reflection. Now what do you notice about this particular problem? Hopefully you see that part of our shape is on one side and parts on the other. So when I reflect, I'm going to get a different type of shape. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so let's count the spaces from the axis. So we're going to go left to right. So from here to here, if we count, okay, will be, looks like 7. Okay, from here going now this direction will be, it looks like 4. And then from here to here will be 2. So now I have to cross from here going 7 and now over to here, so that'll bring it right to that point. This one was 4, so now I'm going to cross this direction and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one was 2, so I have to cross the axis of reflection 2 on the other side. And now connect and see what kind of shape you have. Notice that the one shape is kind of inscribed inside the other one. So they overlap a little bit. Okay, and there's your new reflected image. And then you would find the ordered pairs and go from there. Okay. All right. Now, finding a pattern for determining those points. So, let's again across the y-axis. So this time, the actual y-axis is right here. Okay, so now we're just going to count, make it a shortcut. So I know that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I count another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's right there. This is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So you don't have to make those lines showing you counting. Okay, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and connect them. And there's your reflected image. Okay, let's find the points. So A was -7, 3. B was -4, 6. And C was -3, 2. The new prime images, so this would have been C. So C was -3, I'm sorry, 3, 2. B would have been right here, so that's 4, 7. And A was right here, so that's 7, 3. Okay, you see some kind of a pattern there? Okay, 3, 3. All right. Oh, look at, 4, 4, but 6, 7. So did I make a mistake? Let's check again. Let's look at B. So that's over -4. That's up 7. So this should have been over 4 and up 7. So I made a mistake right there. So I know that because I was looking for a certain pattern. Oh, kind of big on the... So that's something you can do as well. So that should have been 7 there. So do you see what's happening here? I get the same numbers at just different signs in some parts. Okay, let's flip across the x-axis. So here's my actual x-axis. So there's my line of reflection. Okay, this is 3 away. So I go 3 away there. This is 7 away. So I go 7 away here. Remember, this is a grid 10 by 10, so it's easy to figure out where they're at. This is 3 away, so I go there. And this is 6 away, so I go here. Connect your points, and you have your new reflected image. Now, what should happen here? When I have my reflection going up and down, let's see if we can find a pattern there. We know W down here is -4, -3. And we know W up here would be -4, +3. Okay, X is is 5, 3, -3. And X would be right here, it's 5, +3. Okay, Z, or Y, I should say, Y is right there, so this is going to be my Y. So that's over 5 and up 6. So what do you think that should happen down here? It should be 5 and 6, but we just have to have the coordinates. So it would be 5 and -6. And finally, Z would be right there, so that's 1, 7. So we know from our pattern that's got to be 1, 7. but it's in this quadrant, so it's got to be -1, -7. Okay? And this should have, oh, I'm sorry, not -1, +1. My mistake. Okay? So again, hopefully what you see is that I have the same coordinates, but they're different in signs. 4, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 1, 7, 1, 7. So go ahead and see if you can do these next two, and we'll talk about it in class. Just remember that when it gives you x equals or y equals, not the actual x-axis, you have to use your notes to determine where that line of reflection is.